Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another video. I have been working on the presentation again, and I have switched up the design a little bit more. I think this time it's going to be better than the last time. Just let me know what you think about it. Leave me a little comment in the comment section stating whether or not you like the new design or if you like the old one better. And when you're there, leave a like on the video as well and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed so that you don't miss future updates and future company analysis. Today we are talking about BlackRock Silver. This is a pretty well-known name in the silver development space. BlackRock Silver is traded on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the ticker BRC and on the OTC market under the ticker BKRRF. As always, we are going to talk about the management, the projects that the company has, the capital structure, the balance sheet that they currently have, recent news, and then in conclusion, my opinions about the company. So to start off with the management, we can see here we have a couple people. Andrew Pollard is the CEO. He has been the CEO since 2019. And they say on the website that he has 20 years of experience in the mining industry, but they have given no names, so I couldn't check his background. Also, when I checked on the internet, it was hard to find any companies that he's worked with before. But what they have seen and what they have shown is that this man has raised $100 million for BlackRock Silver and that he's overseen this company from the start until the state they are in right now, where they have a pretty advanced project and a current mineral resource. Then we have Daniel Vickerman. He is the Senior Vice President of Corporate Development. I used a little acronym right here, otherwise that title would be too long. He is also currently the Senior Vice President Corporate Development of Discovery Silver. And Discovery Silver is a stock that I do own. I think it's a very interesting company. They have an extremely big silver deposit, and they currently own one of, I believe it's Barrick's or Newmont's mines, which they are currently mining gold out of. I think this is a very attractive company. I will do a video about Discovery Silver as well, so if you don't want to miss that, subscribe to the channel. But this man is also on the board there, which brings a lot of questions to my mind, because Discovery Silver is a billion plus market cap company. And that makes me wonder whether this man has enough time in his schedule and in his personal life to be so active with a billion-dollar company and then also be active with a relatively small silver miner, BlackRock Silver. So we'll see whether this man can handle all of that. I do believe that he can, but there's always questions to be asked. He has 25 years of successful experience in finance. He managed $400 million trading commodities and FX, that is foreign exchange. So he was a commodity trader and he turned that into a very successful career. Then we have the CFO, Randy Minas, and given his last name, everything he touches should turn into gold with the Minas touch. He has been the CFO of this company since 2019, and he has served as CFO for different publicly and private companies. They did not give a lot of names, but the names that they did give were pretty interesting. He worked as a controller for Rye Patch Gold, which was bought by Alio Gold in 2018. And after the acquisition, there has been a class action lawsuit filed against Alio Gold for negligent and fraudulent statements made during the acquisition of Rye Patch Gold. Now, I don't want to accuse this man of anything. of course, because I don't know the man and I haven't talked to him about this either. But it is interesting to see that a company that he worked for was involved with a class action lawsuit. I would like to know whether or not this man had anything to do with that and what his role exactly was at the company at the time that Alio Gold has bought it. But those questions are still up in the air and to be discussed in later conversations. Then, talking about the board of directors, we have a couple very interesting names. William Holland, he has founded several companies, and he has recently overseen the acquisition of the Florida Canyon mine by Integra Resources. I am also a shareholder in Integra Resources, so I do know this acquisition pretty well. It was a really rather successful acquisition and a rather successful mine as well, which achieved mine play production in 18 months, which was nice to see as a shareholder. So this man being on the board of directors does me a lot of good because I have some experience investing with him in the past, and that has worked out for me. We have Tony Wood, who is a finance guy. He's got $1 billion in lifetime fundraisers, and he has experience in mergers and acquisitions and has had multiple CFO roles at publicly listed companies. Then we have a mining engineer, David Lang, with 40 years of experience, and he was the chief operating officer of Equinox Gold, which is a $8 billion company, and True Gold Mining, which was bought by Endeavor Mining, which surprisingly he was also a founding executive of. So what happened there, I believe, is that he has sold a company to his own company, which is always very lucrative. So I do believe that this man is retired right now and is having this project as, a retirement project. But he has a lot of experience in engineering, and that is good to have with this project. The last director that is unique is Tom Perigudov. Please let me know if I butchered that name or not. He has 30 years of experience in green and brownfield exploration. For the people who don't know, the difference between green and brownfield exploration is that greenfield exploration is exploration that happens on places where there has not been drilling or mining done before. And brownfield exploration, you are trying to explore in an area where there has either been a discovery of a resource already or previous mining has been done there already. And the names come from the fact that if an area is untouched, there's grass growing, so it's green. And if an area has been mined before, there are chances that there's a lot of dirt and that the area looks brown. That's how you can have a distinction between the two. Tom is also currently a director of MAG Silver, which is an extremely big silver deposit. It's got a market cap of over 2 billion, and he is the CEO of Apollo Silver, which is a 125 million silver ounce deposit with a rather tight share structure, so that is a good sign. One thing to note about the board of directors is that the CEO and this guy, I forgot my own acronym already, my excuses for that. They are both on the board of directors as well, which means that if the company has a plan that they want to instate, like like raising their own salaries or expanding the amount of options, stock options that they would give the directors and their management, these people make the plans and they vote for them as well, which for you as a shareholder, as a regular human being, is not positive. There is less control that the board of directors can have over the management. That being said, let's look at the projects that BlackRock Silver has. They have two projects, the Silver Cloud and the Tonopah. Both of them are in Nevada. The Silver Cloud project just to give a quick overview, is a greenfields exploration. So that means there is no previous drilling done before. They have a couple drill holes there, which have intersected 70 grams per ton gold and 600 grams per ton silver, which are both extremely high, but just over a width of 1.5 meters. So that is a very shallow intercept. So we'll see what this comes down to. They are currently not drilling the project. The company is currently busy working on the Tonopah project, which is down here, also in Nevada. That is a brownfields exploration. So there has been previous mining in this project. It is located within the Walker Lane trend of Nevada. Well, if you think, if you want to know more about that, just Google Walker Lane trend of Nevada, and then you will see that there is a big silver trend, a big silver vein system that goes through Nevada, where a lot of America's silver comes from. This project is located right within the middle of it. It's pretty interesting, so definitely look it up. I'm not gonna talk about that in this video. The project has a economic assessment done. They also have a mineral resources, and currently the resource is about 50 million ounces of silver and about 600,000 ounces of gold. So to view, I'm going to zoom in on the Tonopah project first, and then I am going to look at the Silver Cloud project. So to look at the Tonopah project, the Tonopah project is called Tonopah because it's right next to the town of Tonopah. As you can see, the town is here. I thought this was pretty interesting. A world famous clown museum, clown motel. Definitely not sleeping there. But the project that they own is located right next to this town. If you want to look at this yourself, Google Tonopah on Google, and then you will get right here. And as you can see in this image, the red line outlines the mineral properties that this company owns. So that goes all the way like this, and a big piece up top there. The town of Tonopah is right there. So you can see that this project owns the mineral resources underneath the road and on both sides of the road. And as I stated before, this is a brownfields exploration project. So that means that there has been previous mining done, but this town still exists. So 1 + 1 is 2. That means that the mining that has been done underground. And we are going to look at that right now. This may be a very clustered image, but I'm going to explain what you see in detail. So if we don't look at all the colors going on, you can see that the town of Tonopah is right here. That the outlining of the project is in red. That goes all the way through. We just looked at that. That is the outlining of the project. And within that project are different lines. All of these lines are mine shafts made by people in the 19 and 1800s. This project is rather old, and people have been mining this project since the 1800s. So all the lines that you see are different mining shafts which people used to mine the silver in these silver veins. And the differences between these colors is stated right here. It's the difference in the levels of depth that the shafts went down to. They went from 800 meters all the way to about 2 kilometers down. So some of them are really deep, some of them are less deep, but everything that has been mined is underground. And that is because this system, this silver system, is a vein system. That means that there is a lot of dirt around this entire project, but there is only a couple very high-grade silver veins. And the people who mined this before figured that out and made mine shafts to start mining it. And because there was so much gold, they created the town of Tonopah, which currently, until this day, is still a mining town. In the next image, we can see, this is also a very clustered image, we can see that, well, let's start at the beginning. Right, this line is the surface. This is the surface line. This is ground zero. This is the surface. All the gray lines that you see are drill results from the company's drilling operations. You can see that they've drilled down in this project a whole bunch of times, and they have mapped out the intercepts that they found to show us what the silver vein system looks like. So you can see that there's a big vein right here, that there are smaller veins going up top. There's another big vein right there. There are smaller veins. There's another big vein right there. There are smaller veins, and there's a big vein right there. So you can see that this project has got a lot of silver in very concentrated places, which means that you cannot bulk tonnage this. You have to go in there, make a shaft, make a small space for people to go into with highly specialized equipment to mine the silver, and you are only going to mine this in the places where there is silver, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to start mining this, for instance, because there's no silver there. You only want to mine the veins. So I hope that this is not too confusing, but I do want to give you a sense of what this deposit looks like and what it is going to take to mine the silver here. So as an overview, this is the project again, and all the dots on this project are the previous drill holes. You can see here that the company was named BlackRock Gold when they announced all these drill holes. They recently changed their name to BlackRock Silver for probably marketing purposes, but that's all right. So the company has been drilling this project from 2020 to 2025. The company has produced a resource. The resource is located right here beneath the highway, which if we go back to a couple slides ago, you can see that the town of Tonopah is right here. Here is the highway, and the resource that they have found is right here. So that means that there is no interference between the town and the resource, even though it's underground. That wouldn't matter so much, but it's good that this is in a less populated area. Back to the resource. Currently, the company is drilling more. They are drilling right here in the east. They are drilling right here in the east, and they have put a couple drill holes right to the northwest, because they do believe that the veins that they encountered in the middle do go off into the northwest area, but they are currently still looking at that. And that is one thing that I do have to say about this project. Because this is a veiny project with very thick, high-grade veins, you want to have a very detailed analysis of where those veins are before you start mining. Because building a mine shaft and getting all the permits and putting up all the money to do it is going to be costly. It's going to take time. It's going to take capital. So what you want all the information beforehand, before you start building and drilling into this project. That means that if they do find veins up here, those veins need to be drilled extensively, and they need to have a very detailed understanding about them, which means that that is going to cost a lot of money for the shareholders. The current resource that the company has, just to state it again, is 45 million ounces of silver and about 600,000 ounces of gold. The grades for this project are very high. They have a grade of 220 grams per ton silver and about 2.5 grams per ton of gold. So where there is gold and silver, the concentration of it is very high. And that is why you need to have very detailed analysis of where that silver is, so that you can get in there, mine it, and get out with as little cost as possible. And if they do that, if they manage to find, locate, and mine that silver, it is initially going to cost about 180 million to get this operation up and running. They have an 8-year mine life, and they say that they will be profitable at $1,900 gold and $23 silver. Well, the silver and gold prices are almost double that, so of course this project would be extremely profitable if this was put into production. So that about the Tonopah project. about their flagship project. Then the Silver Cloud project, we are going to look at it real quick. It is up here near the town of Elko, in the middle of nowhere, as you can see. I didn't find any information about the location, about the specific location of this property, so it is probably not really all that interesting to them. But the Silver Cloud, they have a couple intersects, a couple holes in there. You can see in this image that they've provided, you can see that they have hit a drill hole of 70 grams per ton gold and 600 grams per ton silver. They do think that this is also a vein system, but this is a conceptual image of what they have found. They have also drilled a couple more holes without any intersects. So this project is on the back burner right now, and this is just a optionality play. Maybe they will find something, but don't bank on it. So if we look at the deposit that the company currently has, you can see that they have an indicated amount of ounces of 100,000 ounces of gold and 9.5 million ounces of silver, and that they have an inferred amount of ounces of 470,000 ounces of gold and 35.5 million ounces of silver. Because this is a vein system, and because you need high levels of precision to be able to locate all the silver there is a lot of inferred ounces, because what they do is they make 2 drill holes, they place them apart, they drill into the ground, and then they conceptualize the silver and gold that is in the vein between them. And to show that, I'm going to go back to the structural image right here. So let's say you have this drill hole right there and this drill hole right here. You know that there's silver there, and you know that there's silver there. Then they conceptualize this amount right here. And that makes that a lot of these ounces are in the inferred category. If this project is going to get into production, you will see a lot of drilling to get a lot of these ounces from inferred into the indicated and into the measured category. Again, that is going to cost a lot of money because drilling is expensive. Anyway, back to the valuation of this deposit. They have a total amount of gold ounces of 577,000, and a total amount of silver ounces of, let's call this 45 million. If we put that in here with the current commodity prices, I'm sorry, silver has dropped a little bit to 45. We can see that the company has a maximum value of $4.3 billion. The only way to get $4.3 billion out of this project is to stand on top of the project, wave a wand, magically summon all the gold and silver out of the ground that the company states that it has, and sell it today. Of course, that's not possible. So I take a 15% potential buyout value for this deposit, which gives the company a potential deposit value of 650 million. If we then look at the share structure, we can see that the company has 331.5 million shares outstanding with 44 million warrants, 5.8 million stock options for a fully diluted fully diluted share count of 381.5 million shares. You can see that the share structure is blown out. I don't like that. That means that they've done a lot of diluting in the past. And given the fact that they've done that in the past, they will probably do that again in the future. Currently, the share price is 43 cents for a market cap of 146 million. And the top investors, I couldn't find how much these people hold, which I don't think is a good thing either. But Eric Sprott is invested in this stock, and there are 2 ETFs, the SIL and the Global X Silver Miners ETF. They both hold this stock as well, which is good because if there is inflow into the ETFs are forced to buy the stock, meaning that your stock price will go up. Insiders hold 3% of this company, or 3% of 160 million. That's not a lot of money. So the insiders are not involved in this company financially that much. I hate to see that. Retail holds 41% of the stock, and the biggest part of these holdings are the institutional investors. So if we look at the balance sheet of the company filed for the 3 months ending on the 31st of July, and at that time they had a cash position of 7.1 million with about $1.2 million in liabilities. I do have to applaud this company for their G&A to exploration ratio. They've spent about $3.2 million on exploration and only, quote unquote, $650,000 on G&A expenses. I looked into this exploration number, and it did seem that all the money was spent on actual exploration. That gives them a ratio of about 17%, and that is one of the lowest that we've seen, so I do applaud the company for that. They spent their capital that they raise good and well. Because they've spent $3.2 million in exploration and about $650,000 in G&A, they have spent a total of $3.8 million. They've issued 42.5 million shares to pay for this, diluting the shareholders for 13.4%. And if they keep going like this for a full year, you can be expected to be diluted for more than 50% if you hold this stock for a year. In recent news, meaning the news after the company released the most recent balance sheet update, the company has drilled more. They keep drilling. They report big numbers, 750 grams per ton over 5 meters, and including 1.8 meters of 1,600 grams per ton. So you can see again in here, the intercepts are shallow, but when they find gold and silver, they find it in big quantities. So what this company wants to do is very specifically mine the pieces of rock that have the high quality veins in them. They have also commenced a hydrology program, a geotechnical evaluation, and a survey of the project. This is all needed for the permitting. So that tells me that this project is moving along in the permitting phase, which in Nevada can probably take a while because permitting in America is, of course, takes a long time. But it's good to see that the company is moving towards permitting and maybe eventually a decision on whether to mine this property or not. So, in my opinion, there is no official statements in their 43-101s about the permitting of this project. So that does tell me at least that the most recent permitting steps that they've taken is to begin the surveys and the studies. That means that actual permit grants and actual production is going to take a long time before it starts. This will be a complex and a bespoke mining operation. This is definitely not going to be a run-of-the-mill open pit design. This is going to be a very specialized and very narrow mining operation where you need real skill and talent for. They are located in a very friendly mining state. Nevada is very friendly towards mining, and they are right next to a mining town that has been created because of this deposit. So if they decide to go mine it, there is probably a lot of local interest in working in this mine. So that is, of course, very good. However, the deposit is rather small. They have sub 1 million ounces of gold and sub 50 million ounces of silver. So it is a small deposit, but it is a low capex, high grade deposit, and profitable once it starts. So if they decide to go mine this, even though there are low ounces in there, it's going to be extremely profitable. And because they have a lot more silver than gold, this project is highly leveraged towards the price of silver. And I know that that is why a lot of retail investors buy this stock. It's because of the potential that the silver price is going to the moon, and then the 50 million ounces of super high grade silver that are in the ground here will be valued at a premium, and thus the stock will explode in value. I know that that is the mindset a lot of people have with this stock. And because a lot of people have that mindset, the share price is high compared to the peers. That is because of the high grade silver that's in this deposit. I feel like I've been a little bit all over the place with this presentation. I've been working on a lot of things for the channel, trying to make it more streamlined and more nicer to do in general. So let me know what you think about the presentation right now. Let me know what you think about BlackRock Silver in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I will see you next time with another analysis, and I will say goodbye for now. Bye bye.